Panasonic doesn't have very many fast, affordable primes available for their L mount cameras just yet, but today we're going to be taking a quick look at the 85mm F1.8 for their L mount cameras. Let's get into it. So before we get into the review, I just want to state that this is a completely independent review. I'm not paid by anyone, nor am I affiliated with any company out there. In fact, I went out and purchased this lens with my own money, so you can be safe in the knowledge that the views I express in this video are completely my own. Okay, let's get into the technical specs. The Panasonic 85mm F1.8 has 9 elements in 8 groups. You'll find 9 rounded aperture blades. It has an aperture range of f1.8 to f22. The minimum focusing distance is 31.4 inches or 80 centimeters. This lens is dust and splash resistant. It uses 67mm filters, and in the US it retails for $597.99. The Panasonic 85mm f1.8 is a small, lightweight lens that's built pretty well. It weighs just 0.78 pounds or 355 grams. The body is made entirely from plastic apart from the mount, which is metal. The lens is weather sealed too. Overall though, it does feel a little cheap, but it should hold up well in the long run. Apart from the manual focus ring, the only other physical control on this lens is the auto and manual focus switch. Overall, the Panasonic Lumix S 85mm f1.8 is a lens with a simple design. The tapered barrel feels nice in the hand and the lens balances perfectly on my Lumix S5. It's just a joy to use. Right, on to focusing. In single focus modes, the 85mm f1.8 is rapid and accurate. It's one of the fastest focusing L mount lenses I have used. Nicely done, Panasonic. Continuous focusing is great as well. For the most part, the lens finds focus quickly and accurately, and there is minimal pulsing, which will please videographers. I did notice a slight slowdown every now and again, but it's not worth writing home about. Also, the talking head parts of this review were filmed with this lens, and I think it has done a great job. Manually focusing this lens is also easy too. The manual focus ring turns incredibly smoothly, and it can be used with the linear focus modes in Panasonic bodies, so you can alter the throw distance to your liking. Unfortunately, this lens does breathe quite a lot, which you can see here, so keep this in mind if you're going to use it for videography. Overall though, the Panasonic 85mm f1.8 does a fantastic job when it comes to focusing in all modes. Right, onto image quality. I don't think there will be too many photographers out there who will be displeased with this lens. The images this lens can help you create are fantastic. Unless you don't know what you're doing, you'll create images that will be ridiculously sharp across the frame from f1.8 down to f16. The optics used here are seriously impressive for a sub $600 lens. The bokeh you can produce with this lens is also great. Shoot wide open at f1.8 and the background simply melts away. This makes this lens ideal for portraits or any time you need to really isolate your subject. The bokeh balls produced with this lens aren't perfectly round, so bokeh purists will likely scoff at it, but personally I think they're just fine. If you like bokeh, there's no doubt in my mind that you'll enjoy this lens. All of the colours you've seen in my image samples are straight out of camera, so it should be no surprise when I say colour rendering is another highlight of this lens. Colours are punchy but not overly saturated, and skin tones in particular are great, which is incredibly important for a lens that's designed for portrait shooters. This lens is also nice and contrasty. Again, for a sub $600 lens, it performs incredibly well when it comes to colour rendering. When it comes to lens distortions, you've really got nothing to worry about here. The lens does exhibit just a little bit of flaring when shooting directly into light sources, but it's not the worst I've seen from lenses in this price category. There is a slight amount of pincus and distortion, but again, it's easy to fix in post. The lens has no signs of vignetting, and I have not seen any chromatic aberration. It's just a solid performer all around. So I guess the biggest question is, should you go out and buy this Panasonic Lumix S 85mm f1.8 lens? Well, the answer is yes. If you're a portrait photographer who uses L mount cameras, you'll know that your options are limited for fast primes for portraits. However, at $600, this lens is an absolute steal. It's fast, it's sharp, it renders beautiful colours, and the bokeh it can produce will blow you away.
There are only a couple of things that count against this lens, and that's focus breathing and the fact that it does feel a little bit cheap. But again, this is a $600 lens that's producing the goods on all other levels. On top of that, it's also weather sealed, so you can go out and take it in light rain and it's not going to be affected by dust too much. Overall, I have to say that if you're a photographer who uses L-mount cameras from Panasonic, Leica or Sigma, and you shoot portraits, street photography, product photography, heck, any genre of photography, and you want a fast, sharp lens that will not let you down and that will not break the bank at $600, well, I highly recommend this lens. Well, there you have it everyone. Thank you so much for watching this review on the Panasonic Lumix S 85mm f1.8. I hope that it helps you make a decision in the near future. If you've liked this video, please consider hitting the like button down below. And if you'd like to see reviews like this in the future, please also consider hitting the subscribe button too. Until next time, take care.